Hi there, welcome to the very next in our series of short videos for small business owners relating to sales and marketing. And I'm speaking to you from beside the canal next to the Whiskey Bond where my offices are. And today I want to talk to you about something that's a little bit left field. And that's about the impact of your self-esteem and your sense of self-worth on your marketing and sales activities. And it comes out of two conversations that I had this morning. The first one was with a young man that I mentor in a local Glasgow school, who was explaining with a great deal of self-awareness and self-clarity that a lot of his behaviours were down to low self-esteem and a feeling of lacking any real sense of self-worth. And I left that call and left that meeting. I went straight onto a telephone call in the car with one of my mentoring clients who was explaining that a lot of his marketing and sales actions hadn't been done. And he explained why. And the things that he said almost identically mirrored the things that the young person had said. So, plucking up the courage, I asked him the question, well, how do you feel about your business at the moment? How are things going? And it was almost like I'd pulled a plug out, and suddenly there was all of this information about how a couple of opportunities had been missed and things hadn't gone exactly how they'd been planned, and that the vision of the business and where he wanted to be with it had become clouded. And there was a real sense that the business wasn't really at the place that he wanted it to be. And his own sense of worth as a result of that was being impacted by some of the negative results that the business was going through. And really, I started to talk to him about self-esteem and the impact that his particular state of mind was having on his ability to run his business effectively, particularly to continue to market effectively when he really wasn't feeling in the right place to do so. So what my suggestion was to first of all take stock, understand whether or not this is something temporary or whether or not actually what you're thinking about doing is taking the business in a whole different direction. Now, if it's the former, then great, because you have a working business model. And this gentleman has a 20-year career running this business that's been successful. So he has something to fall back on. We could immediately turn around and look at what had worked in the past, start to think about how successful he'd been bringing the business to where he had got it to, and starting to bolster that sense of self-worth that comes with running our business. And anyone here out there who runs a business will understand that you have those peaks and troughs in terms of how you feel about your business, how you feel about yourself, and that, I guess, is perfectly natural. So in that situation where you're having a little bit of an existential issue about sales and marketing and worth in the business, start to fall back on things that have worked before. Look back into your marketing and sales campaigns for moments of success. Look to celebrate those successes and start to think about running those campaigns again, perhaps slightly updated to bring it into line with your current thinking and your current sales and marketing model, but fall back on areas best practice have worked before. If you are, on the other hand, having some form of genuine crisis about your business, then that's obviously a conversation for another place, and that isn't just going to be fixed by falling back on what's worked before. But again, you just have to identify which is which, understand what can be done about it, and then start to move forward in whichever direction you choose. Because one thing is absolutely for sure, staying still and doing nothing about it will only allow the situation to exacerbate. Thank you very much for listening. As you can probably tell, it's incredibly cold here today. It was probably a mistake to come down to the canal, but nonetheless, we've managed to get through it together. If you've got any issues that you'd like us to discuss on these videos, then please get in contact and we'll do our very best to answer them in the next few days. And thanks again for listening from a very cold Glasgow. I'm going to say goodbye and take care.